Let's jump right into this explainer by taking a close look at a daily habit we all share, probably without giving it a second thought. Every single day we're separating our trash, right? But the organic waste, things like banana peels, coffee grounds, grass clippings, often just gets tossed straight into a regular garbage bin. And that waste inevitably ends up sitting in a landfill. Now here's the catch. When organic matter gets buried under massive piles of garbage without any oxygen, it doesn't just safely rot away. It actually releases methane and other harmful greenhouse gases straight into the atmosphere. It's a huge environmental issue, and it's hiding right there in our everyday routines.
But what if you could actually turn that waste into something incredibly valuable? Seriously, instead of just adding to the landfill mass and emissions, what if those apple cores and dry leaves could be transformed into a literal resource? Well, today, we are going to learn exactly how to do that by mastering a foundational habit of green living.
At its core, compost is simply a mixture of naturally decomposed plants, food, and other organic materials that can be added to soil to help plants grow. We're not talking about complex industrial chemistry here. We're talking about harnessing nature's own recycling system to create a powerful natural fertilizer right in your own backyard.
To make this super accessible, we're going to break it down into 5 simple steps: location, layering, moisture, oxygen, and building a sustainable future.
Step 1. Choosing the perfect location.
So you're essentially building a home for billions of microscopic microorganisms, meaning you absolutely have to start with the right environment. First, find a dry, shady spot in your yard. You want shade because if your pile bakes in the intense summer sun, it's going to dry out and those helpful bacteria will just die off. Second, make sure it's near a water source, like a garden hose. You're going to need to lightly water this pile, and keeping it conveniently located prevents the whole process from feeling like a chore.
Keep in mind, a pile is simply a number of things placed on top of each other. It sounds obvious, but you really need to choose a space that naturally allows for vertical growth. You aren't spreading things out flat across the grass. You're building upwards to create a concentrated mass where heat can actually build up in the center.
Step 2. The art of layering. Now, building the foundation of your pile is all about striking a very specific scientific balance. You can't just throw everything into a bucket and hope for the best. You need a careful ratio of 2 main categories. On one side, you have your brown materials. Think dried leaves, twigs, and cardboard, which provide essential carbon. On the other side, you have your green materials, like fresh grass clippings and food scraps, which provide essential nitrogen. The real magic happens when you alternate these layers back and forth.
Take a standard fruit peel, for example, the thick skin of some fruits and vegetables. Everyday household waste, like the banana peels you normally throw away, is literally the perfect source of nitrogen for your pile. You are taking the leftovers of your morning breakfast and using them to fuel a biological engine.
Step 3. Managing compost moisture.
Okay, once you have your layers down, you have to manage the climate control, because your bacteria require very specific conditions to thrive. If there is one phrase you take away from this, make it this one: damp, not soaked. Picture the texture of a sponge that you've just wrung out in the kitchen sink. It's wet to the touch, but it's not dripping water everywhere. That is exactly how your compost pile should feel. Just lightly spray the pile to keep it moist, but absolutely never flood it. Getting this moisture level wrong has immediate consequences. If your pile gets too dry, the microscopic life dies off, and decomposition completely stops. You'll literally just be left staring at a static pile of yard waste. But if it's too wet, the pile gets waterlogged, the oxygen gets pushed out, and bad bacteria take over. When that happens, the pile becomes contaminated, turns slimy, and frankly, it smells terrible. Consistent moisture is the absolute key to efficient processing.
Step 4. Providing essential oxygen.
Just like us, the beneficial organisms breaking down your waste need to breathe. So every few weeks, you need to turn the pile. Grab a pitchfork and physically mix the materials around. This fluffs the pile up to introduce fresh oxygen, and it moves the cooler outer materials right into the warm, highly active center. Often, when you turn a healthy pile, you'll actually see steam rising straight out of the middle because the biological activity is generating that much heat.
By providing that oxygen through regular turning, you accelerate the natural process where things are destroyed gradually and naturally. Within a few short months, you won't even be able to recognize the original fruit peels or dry leaves. The whole shebang will have completely transformed into dark, crumbly, rich earth.
Conclusion. Building a sustainable future.
We've covered the mechanics, but why does mastering this simple micro-habit really matter?
Well, because when you choose to compost, you're doing so much more than just gardening. You are drastically reducing the volume of household waste trucked to landfills, which actively lowers your personal carbon footprint. On top of that, you're creating a natural, chemical-free fertilizer right at home. You are protecting vital natural resources and taking a massive step toward a truly sustainable lifestyle.
So, the science is clear, the steps are straightforward, and the environmental benefits are absolutely massive. The only question left is, are you ready to start your pile today and contribute to a greener tomorrow? I challenge you to set aside those fruit peels this week, go find that shady spot in the yard, and just let nature do the rest. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.